So, I started this project about a year ago when I kept seeing videos of people making guitars, usually out of funny materials, and I figured if they can do that.
How hard can it be?
So, about the same time, I started watching this show called Macross 7, which is a sequel to a show I watched as a kid. And in this one, a questionably sane man flies into the middle of space battles, shoots other ships with Bluetooth speakers, and then forces them to listen to his music. On top of that, he has a really cool looking guitar, so I thought I'd look and see if I could get my hands on one. Turns out they only did one production run ever, and even then it was out of my price range, so the only way I was ever going to get my hands on this guitar is making it myself. And so, I did. Smooth. So, I'm going to have a couple clips of me making this, and hopefully I'll be able to play something for you at the end. So when it comes to selecting the material for the body, there's plenty of options. I went with mahogany. Some people might select a wood based on some kind of unique quality they think it might bring to the guitar, but I selected this because it wasn't much more expensive than the other options, and now I can say it's made of mahogany, which sounds expensive and cool. The downside is the guitar is now 10 pounds, which feels very heavy for a guitar. So this part is pretty crucial. I'm trying to get the neck and bridge to line up perfectly, and I didn't want to spend the time to test my new updated template on a piece of scrap to make sure it worked, so eventually I just went ahead and winged it. It didn't match up, and it was off by a good bit, so I just went at it with a spindle sander and eyeballed it, and eventually going back and forth checking the alignment with the guitar string, I got it in the right spot. And here's me working on the headstock, which is purely cosmetic. I actually had to make this a headless guitar to accommodate this, which is actually how the very first replica of this guitar was made. It was custom made for Yoshiki Fukuyama to use at live performances and took some creative liberties with the design. The production model that was designed by ESP was much more reasonable, and they just made a cover for the very ordinary headstock that they put on it. was really stupid. What? How did I miss so horrifically? Finding the router bit for this part took me a while, as they don't tend to make them this small with template bearings. I needed to cut a small channel on the guitar to separate the different colored sections. It ended up being a specialty guitar making bit, but I'm not sure what they use it for, and I'm pretty sure it's not this. I spent an unreasonable amount of time designing, printing, and finishing these cosmetic domes. I made the two on the upper part of the body into the volume and tone controls. Now that I've used the guitar, I don't actually touch the tone controls, and I wish I could fill in the one knob that isn't hidden with the domes, as it makes the guitar look a little different from the source material. This is the cutout for the 5-way switch. The only reason I went with 3 pickups is that's what the guitar looks like it has. I can't really tell the difference between how they sound that well, and would have just put in 1 if I knew how little I would care. I also could have designed and made fake covers that look more like the source material. Now I'm masking the blue in preparation for the purple. This step I did several things wrong that affected the finish. First, I should have used a wood filler to make the body a lot more even than it was. Also, rather than painting one side at a time on the ground, I should have found a way to hold the body up so I could do each coat thoroughly. Doing it this way took a lot more time, which made me rush it, and I ended up not masking very well and getting some overspray, as well as the newspaper pulling up some blue, which forced me to go back and touch it up.
Let's dance 星たちも歌う一瞬だって長くできる翼を振ったら Rock with me Baby なんとかするからその手を離さないで俺の歌は聞いて
Now for the sanding and polishing. You can see here the parts going hazy are the raised bits. The surface was too uneven to get the classic full gloss finish you see on most guitars. But what I ended up with was a decently shiny finish where you can faintly make out the wood grain. So it ended up looking good enough for me to not want to spend the time to try again.
Keep